welcome back to my channel. My name is Kim, and today I am going to share with you a morning of work that I get done in my kitchen. So for a little bit of a background, I am a mom of 4 and we are a homeschool family. We homeschool our 3 youngest. Our oldest goes to public school for high school, and this morning I have been putting off a bunch of kitchen work. So I decided to just buckle down and do it before we got our schoolwork done. As you see, I am washing our oven. I have tried off and on to get it clean by natural methods, baking soda, vinegar paste. I have some Norwex scrub, and none of that has worked as well as what I got. It is an oven, a no fume oven spray. I think it's called Easy Off, and I sprayed it last night. I let it sit, and you see how easy it just wiped everything off. And like I said, I like to normally do more natural methods for cleaning, but this was amazing. And scrubbing the oven is a time-consuming, hard business, and having this help was very, very beneficial for me to get it clean. I just did the lower oven today because it was kind of like a test. I wanted to see how well it worked, and if it worked good enough, then I'm going to do the upper oven, and it did, so I will get that done shortly. I'm just cleaning up the face of the oven there. You know, sometimes when I start cleaning, I'm like, oh, I notice everything else that needs to get cleaned, and I'll wipe things down a little bit better than normal. For my next kitchen project today, I am going to make some elderberry syrup. We are all getting over some colds, and I'm making it a little bit late because, of course, I procrastinated, and then we got sick. But better late than never, and I'll have it on hand for next time. So I'm going to be making some homemade elderberry syrup for us to take with some water in the morning. Honestly, it's really so easy that I don't know why I didn't make it, but I tend to put things off until I absolutely need to. It's pretty much, I have just these dried elderberries I got at a natural food store, and I put them in some water and I cook them down with some ginger and cinnamon stick, and I think that's it. Ginger, cinnamon, some cloves as well, and I just cook it until it reduces for a little while, and then I will drain it or strain it and add some honey, and it's good to go. So I will kind of show you the process of this while I am doing the rest of my kitchen work. My next task is going to be making breakfast for everyone who wants it. So hot breakfast is very important to me. I enjoy a hot breakfast, and I want my kids to have hot breakfast as well if it is something they want. My husband works from home, and he also likes hot breakfast most mornings, and so on this morning I will be making some breakfast hash. We go kind of in cycles, you know. I'll make one. We really are liking breakfast hash right now, and I'll make that pretty much as our regular breakfast for like a week, and then maybe the next week we want homemade hash browns or breakfast sandwiches or even just eggs and toast. It does take a little bit more time in the mornings to make a hot breakfast, but there are some ways that I can prep ahead of time to make sure that things go pretty smoothly. Like if we're going to have breakfast with bacon, I like to make my bacon all at once in the oven one of the days or even on the weekend, and then I have bacon in the refrigerator that is good to go for the rest of the week. Another way I mitigate the busyness of the mornings making hot breakfast is I don't cook lunch. So lunch is leftovers or snacky food. I mean, we try to do pretty healthy snacky food, peppers and hummus with some pretzels and veggies, or sausage, cheese and crackers with some fruit or veggies, things like that. But I typically do not cook lunch just because I need that break in the middle of the day after cooking hot breakfast and before I start cooking dinner for us all. So with the elderberry simmering away and the eggs cooking nicely, I am going to start making the breakfast hash. I will scrub up, I think 3 potatoes this day, and I will cube them into smaller bits. The smaller size, the quicker they cook, and so that is what I am going to try to achieve on this day. In our breakfast hash, it is typically potatoes, onions, and then some andouille or Polish sausage that we slice up, and then I cut in half so it's relatively the same size as the potatoes. So it's a very delicious meal, and you could honestly have it for a dinner if you wanted to as well. And then we throw a fried egg on top, and then my husband and I like to have some sauerkraut on the side as well. The sauerkraut pairs really well with the heaviness of the meat and the eggs, and I never would have thought of that before. I am going to cook a couple of pieces of bacon in here for one of my children who doesn't prefer breakfast hash, and it is not too bad because I already had the bacon in the refrigerator from a time when I batch cooked bacon, and it is very easy to just throw it in the pan and heat it up for them. Once that bacon is heated all the way through, I am going to remove it, and then I am going to add the potatoes to the pan. So I have kind of a system down for doing this and doing it as quick as possible. So I'll do the potatoes, and while they're cooking, then I will chop the rest of the things up that I need because the potatoes do take the longest. So all I do to season them is I put some garlic powder, black pepper, and salt in there. That is kind of those are my 3 go-to seasonings for most things. If I'm making anything Mexican, of course, I do add the chili powder and cumin, but typically if I'm seasoning stuff, I like to do garlic powder, black pepper, and salt. Keep it simple, and it's very, very good. So like I said earlier, we are all just kind of getting over having colds. It ran through us pretty quickly. My youngest daughter did not get it, but she claims that because she eats so many oranges every day that she doesn't get sick very often. And honestly, sometimes it seems like that's true. This one did seem to miss her. But after being under the weather for a couple of days, it did give me some motivation and energy to get back into the kitchen and do some of these projects that I've been procrastinating. The elderberry syrup, like I said, I should have done that earlier, but I will also be making some chicken broth, and that is something I have been wanting to do for a little while as well. I like to make my own chicken broth in the Instant Pot and put it in the freezer. I typically don't have the energy to do 2 extra kitchen projects in a day. I do have some fatigue issues. I suffer from adrenal fatigue and burnout every once in a while, and I do try to manage my energy accordingly with putting school as a priority for the children, and then cooking home cooked meals, and then basic housework that sometimes seems to be as much as I can do in a day. But on this day, I was able to have the energy to do extra projects, and I really love when I have the time and energy to do those projects. The hash is about done, and I am going to start serving it up to those who want it. And then once that is done, I will get a chance to strain the elderberry syrup and finish that up. So it has been just cooking along here on the back burner. I've been stirring it occasionally, but keeping it at a low simmer, just so that everything can kind of rehydrate and get the health benefits out of it. Now it's time to strain the elderberry syrup. So I have my little wire mesh strainer there, and I have it over a liquid measuring cup. That just works out the best for me, and I just pour all of it through there, and then I am going to press down and kind of squeeze all the juices and goodness out of those berries. And yeah, so this is something that I like to have on hand. You can buy it at the store. I think I've seen it at Target, and Amazon for sure has some elderberry syrup already made, but you get a much better deal if you buy the even organic dried elderberries and make it yourself. It's really not that tough. So I have almost 1.5 cups of the juice, and I have a mason jar that I am going to put a cup of raw honey in. So if you're using the raw honey, you want to make sure the juice isn't too hot, because that will heating up the raw honey kind of helps kill some of the stuff in it. And then you mix it together, and I was surprised how easy it mixes together without having to stir it. So I just have to pour it in and then shake it up, and it is good to go. A maintenance dose for this elderberry syrup is, if you're an adult, you can take about 1 to 2 tablespoons a day in some water or juice, and if you are a child, you can take about 1 to 2 teaspoons a day for maintenance. And if you are sick, you can take up to 3 times that amount while you are sick, to help your body fight off the viruses. Next up is chicken broth. So I love my Instant Pot, and you will see me cooking in that a good bit. It is such a time saver, and it doesn't heat the whole house up if it is the summertime. Right now it is starting to be cooler weather, and so I don't have to worry about heating the house up too much, but I still like to get things done a little quicker. I don't like to have to try to remember to stir things and whatnot for hours and hours on end. And so a couple of hours in the Instant Pot and you have some good chicken broth. So how I do it is I have the bones of roast chicken. Normally when we are roasting a chicken for our family, we do 2 chickens, and then the bones and scraps we keep, and I put them in the broth. So I have the bones as a base, and then I only put carrots, celery, and onion, and also some garlic cloves in there as well. I do peel, I do kind of chop some stuff off, but you don't have to, especially if you use organic fruit or vegetables, not fruit. Especially if you use organic vegetables, you really just have to wash the dirt off. And then I fill it up with some clean filtered water. I like to add some turmeric powder and some thyme, and sometimes I'll add basil and oregano. It just really depends on how I'm feeling and how easy my spices are to get to. And then after that, I just put it in the, lock it up in the Instant Pot, put it in there for 2 hours on high pressure, and just let it go, and it is so easy to do. So typically once it is done cooking and it is cooled down, my husband will help me strain it, and we put it in bags and put it in the freezer. So on this day he did end up doing that himself, which I am so thankful for. I got very tired at the end of the evening, and after I put the girls to bed, I just had no energy left. So he stepped in and did it all for me, and again, I really appreciate that, because or else I would have had to put it in the refrigerator and wait till tomorrow. So as you can see, I am just filling this water here up to the max fill line. I don't measure how much water I put in, and I use my Berkey filter back there to filter our water, and it looks like it's up there, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. It just looks beautiful, I think. I really think that the vegetables and in the water just look amazing. So I want to say thank you all for watching. If you've hung on this long, just watch me doing my kitchen chores for the day. I really appreciate you, and appreciate that you watched this video. So I want you guys to have a wonderful day, and just know that this is not typical of me. This is a good day, and I hope you have a good day, and I will see you on the next one. Bye!